Hey, for Wednesday, September 16th, 2020, this is the Pro and Con Show, and my name is Michael James Ott, just as it says on the Wonder Tablet. As always, welcome to the show. So the intent here is like I've been doing now for, I don't know, coming up on 500 shows or something, is short little snippets trying to be a spark, trying to get people to be better citizens, to be better neighbors and community members, family members, to each other in this great society we call the United States of America. And what does that mean? Well, ferreting out the truth, which is the basic facts, the who, the what, the where, and the when. On occasion, when they're obvious, the why and the how. But very often you have to be careful about why and how because they're very often not obvious. So unless there's a tornado that's torn up a town, then you know why and how all those houses got destroyed. Okay? But very often in any other news story, you don't know the why and the how. It's a kind of an investigative thing to try to figure that out over time. All right. Now, today's show is called Popular. And the reason why I'm doing this particular show is because our president, Mr. Trump, very often he'll, whether it's a Twitter thing, a Facebook post, any bit of information or television show. And this is the thing that he does this all the time. He implies, he says, oh, this show is highly rated, and especially if it's a show that he likes, this show is highly rated, and then he implies that that's why you should believe it. And my point behind this particular show that I'm doing right now is to make sure that you understand that popularity has nothing to do with right or real. So let me give you an example. Now, for years, they would have, if there was going to be an execution, okay, so somebody was accused of murder, or back in the Old West, horse thievery even, and they would be accused and then hopefully convicted by a jury, and then they would be hanged, okay, in a public square. Or back in Europe, they would, and here in the Americas too, in the 1700s, all this kind of time frame, they'd catch somebody, they'd hang them from something, or they put their heads, they decapitate them, put their head on a pike, or all kinds of things. And humans, a significant part of the population would actually want to come and witness this, to see it as some kind of entertainment, kind of this morbid fascination with executions and death and so on. And I can guarantee you that if we allowed it to occur, and thank goodness we don't, because it's not the right thing to do, if we allowed it to occur and we allowed television cameras and stuff in and watched the executions that we, the capital punishment executions that we continue to have in this country, and we allowed a national audience and live telecasts and stuff like that, those things would be quite highly rated shows because humans have this morbid fascination with death and executions and this kind of stuff. But it's not right. And it's a much better thing for our society that those events are kept private and separated from like mass market appeal kinds of things. And there's other examples, but that's the kind of one that sticks in my head. The other one is popular versus real. And this is a case where, again, Mr. Trump will point at certain shows, and the hosts of those shows will not be telling the truth, but they're saying things that he likes, even though they're not truthful. And he'll point at it and say, this show is popular, okay? And you can have, and again, I've pointed out, I don't know how many times, thousands of times over the last shows, that there's a ton of commentary and opinion and all those other stuff. They have nothing to do with the truth. But they can still be popular. They can still be highly rated. You can listen to whatever, pick your source of entertainment. It's called entertainment. It's not real. It's not the truth. And the biggest recent thing was the whole Harry Potter series with J.K. Rowling wrote these books, and then they were made into a series of movies, and it was all wildly entertaining. Okay, for me as well. I enjoyed the books. I enjoyed the movies. In fact, I've actually reread some of the books a handful of times because I just thoroughly enjoy the story. But it's not real. And I know it's not real, but it's popular. Well, Mr. Trump, on a routine basis, points at sources of information, and he talks about their ratings. He talks about how popular they are, and implies that because they're highly rated or popular, they are either right or real. In most cases, unfortunately, with this president, they're neither. So the point behind today's pro and con show is, even though the president keeps pointing at stuff and saying that's popular, that's highly rated, that's popular, that's highly rated, and it's working for some of you, for millions of you actually in this country, it's working. He is manipulating your mind and having you equate this thing where popular or highly rated is equal to, in your mind, right, truthful, or real, when very often they're not. And that's the truth. And that's the truth behind entertainment. And my major point at this point is that many, many, many of the shows that you watch on so-called news channels, they are entertainment. It's not the news. It is not the who, the what, the where, and the when. It is some kind of spin opinion about the recent events, and unfortunately, because they have no mandate to tell the truth, they have no mandate. There's no punishment, they don't receive any negative thing for not saying the truth. They just, again, and this part of, I talked in the last show about social media. So this is part of it, is the news, the so-called news channels, which aren't really news. They're just, hey, we're going to tell them what they want to hear so that they'll keep watching, because that's how we make money. And guess what? J.K. Rowling wrote a bunch of Harry Potter books. And why did she do that? Well, because when she wrote more of them, she made more money. She was entertaining. And yes, these various channels on television, the various cable channels, they can be entertaining. But please, I beg you, don't confuse popular and entertaining with right, truthful, and real. Because just like the Harry Potter stuff, there's a ton of it that just isn't, right? All right, so for the Pro and Con show, my name is Michael James Ott, and until the next show, as always, bye for now.